You okay?
I've spent countless weeks and insane amount of hours preparing this abandoned OBS Ford 7.3 F250 I found in a barn for a repaint, since it would cost well over 10 grand to have a body shop do it. But at this point, I think I might have been better off.
Oh
My dad had one of these as a work truck when I was a kid, and I owe it to this truck to bring it back the right way. But I've got just 1 week left to get this entire truck painted before it gets too cold to paint. If I miss that window,
unfortunately, I don't think you have anything working for you.
this project stalls for months. But this video, I make a few fatal mistakes that could be absolutely disastrous to this truck's finished product. Away we go. After priming the entire bed in the last video, we're close to laying down color. There are a few spots that I'm gonna need to touch up where I had runs. Mainly, and maybe we can see it with the flash on, maybe not. I know there's a run around here somewhere. Aha, now you can see it. Right there is where I was testing out the gun and I didn't know it was gonna spray paint and it just shot a glob. So I'm gonna need to sand that down a little bit more. It was my first time using a spray gun like that. It was to be expected that I had, a few mishaps. If I leave those spots, they'll show through our top coats. Look like trash. But the whole entire bed has to be block sanded with 400 grit sandpaper, so our base coat of color has something good to bond to. And also, this block sanding will smooth out any imperfections, like that little run in the paint, and just smooth everything out in general, so our color looks smooth too. It's crazy, because you look at the primer like, wow, that looks wicked smooth actually. But then after block sanding with 400 grit, it's like a whole nother level of smoothness. So this is definitely a worthwhile step if we want this bed to look good. And as soon as we're done this, while it's a warmer day, we'll be able to spray our color. But with how long this is taking, that might not happen. All right, like 3 hours later, we're done block sanding the primer. I don't want to go in there because it's really dusty. Which brings us to our next point. See, I was supposed to paint now. I was supposed to put on the base coat. Problem is, it is so dusty in here. I mean, you can see the haze in there. That's gonna be a major problem for when I go to paint. You cannot have dust all over the place, especially now. And with this setup, I have no way to get the dust out of here. The garage doors are covered. So I talked to my father, who thought the best idea might be to open the garage door, take down the plastic, vent this place out for a few hours, and then just paint in the morning. There's just not enough time, considering I need the daylight. There's not enough time to get this thing painted today. Sure, I could risk it. I could try to paint, try to get the fumes out as much as I can, but there's the risk of ruining the $1,000 in paint that I bought, and the many hours of sanding and labor that I have into this. It's just not worth it. I'm just gonna paint tomorrow. So instead of forcing it, I took down the plastic on the wall of our homemade booth, blew out the massive amount of dust we made from sanding the bed, then it can settle overnight. You can see the amount of dust we're blowing out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is paint day. I am so nervous for some reason, maybe because it's a lot of money in paint and I've never done this before. And it's not like I'm testing it on something that I don't care about. So first things first, we have to clean my new Harbor Freight spray gun. This is the cheapest one that they sell. It was like $16, and then we can start. These spray guns come packaged with a thin film of oil on them so they don't rust in the box, which would wreak havoc on our paint. So I'm disassembling and cleaning it now. Before spraying, I'll wet the floor down, which helps keep dust under control. It's just cheap insurance for a better paint job, since we had so much dust in here before. I'll bring as much light as I can in here so I can see. Wipe the whole bed down with a brand new microfiber to rid it of any remaining dust. Then it's time to mix our base coat. And the color we're going with is... Ooh, white. Factory Ford Oxford White. I'll explain why I went with white in a second, but now I'm using a paint stir stick and a Sharpie to measure out the right ratio of paint, hardener, and activator. I've got to mix this 4 parts of the paint with 2 parts reducer, and 1 part activator for the correct ratio. With the paint loaded into the spray gun, I set up some cardboard to quickly get our spray pattern right.
All right, here goes nothing, I guess.
This is where things started to get a little sketchy. White paint over light gray is already hard to see. And with overspray starting to fill the booth, I was basically painting blind. I went with white again because I like to keep some originality to the truck. Plus, I'm too indecisive. I could never pick another color.
Not half bad, actually. Actually, I don't want to jinx myself.
And going the factory colors quicker, since we don't have to paint door jambs and such. Another plus, white does a good job hiding imperfection, and being the not very good auto body doer that I am, it'll help to not make my lack of skill known to everyone that sees the truck. At least I hope. I mean, look at the difference after it's painted versus before. They don't look a whole lot different, which made it hard to see where I sprayed already. Neighbor Steve told me, with the color coat, I'm just looking for full coverage, not gloss. Gloss will come from the clear coat. Here, we just need to cover everything.
I don't think that came out bad. It's kind of hard to see in here is the only problem, but I'm going to make mistakes. This is the second time I've ever used an actual paint gun and an actual automotive grade paint. So now we let this flash.
Flash time is the break between coats. It lets solvents evaporate out of the paint. If you rush it, you trap those solvents and risk problems. So after one more coat of color, it's time for clear coat.
That smells good.
This mixture's got to be just right. This stuff cost $400, so I can't be messing it up. I'll add the activator, stir it up. Now the clock's ticking to use it.
Not what I expected the consistency of clear coat to be like.
This is where the bed'll either look amazing, or it'll show every single dent I might have missed. With the clear, I was told it has to go on much heavier than we did the color, meaning slower passes and more overlap between passes, which again, got difficult once the overspray started to fill the booth and it got hard to see again. And after 2 coats of clear, 24 hours until we paint the cab. But there's a bunch that I need to get done on this thing before it's even ready to go. I had to sand this down, use a little bit of filler to fill in some of these little pits over the POR15 that I put on there. Finish block sanding a few spots. We gotta finish aligning the hood and the fenders because we're quite a ways off, as you can see. There's a bunch to do today. Then it's back to hours and hours of sanding, fixing, and refixing things I thought were already done. Especially on the hood, which if you saw last video, you know it's been tons of work to get straight. The spot down here at the bottom of the door we covered in POR15 needs to get scuffed, then covered in a thin layer of filler to even out some pitting. Then we mask up the truck to cover everything we don't want painted. And there's no back window now, so that gets papered up. Dad can then go around the whole truck and do the real intricate masking off. The stuff like the keyholes and the door handles and on the edge of all the windows, which I think he enjoys. And while he does that, I'm still sanding, smoothing out the spot where I put filler over the POR15 and all on the hood again. I gotta do one final sanding pass over the whole truck to remove any gloss. Paint can't stick to gloss, so for large areas I'm sanding with the electric sander with 400 grit. And around windows and trim and tight intricate areas, I'll sand those by hand. I'm thankful he's helping me mask up all those little edges and corners, because that would have taken me hours and hours on my own. And we're already at the edge of a short window to be able to paint this thing.
Dog
You can see the gloss left on this door here. Then after passing it over with the sander, it's dulled down and ready for primer. Later on, neighbor Steve comes by to help me get all the panel gaps correct and even at the front of the truck, since everything was pretty out of whack, especially with the new fender we put on last video. A process that takes an incredibly long time. As soon as you fix one body line, another gap shows up somewhere else.
We still got our line.
No, you're moving a little like
Yeah,
you lost your line here.
I lost my line.
As soon as you move one panel to get a gap right, another gap goes haywire and gets way off.
This one and a little, and that one's a little opened up now again.
Okay, so shift it over with your thing again.
So it's got to go towards you.
Go towards me a little bit. Okay, hold it right there.
Yeah. Because you're not going to get much better than that.
You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna paint it just the way it sits. We're
Like
not gonna
this.
tighten bolts, we're not gonna do nothing.
Ah, okay.
But like he said, paint it now.
Don't touch a
We
thing.
know we can
Paint it.
Yeah,
we know we can tweak things. We're not bad there. We're just about flush here. We got a good body line.
This is good on this side.
This fender line isn't super bad. Where's my spoon?
Steve's using a tool called a spoon, one that'd be hard to eat soup with, to do a little massaging of the metal at the top of the fender to make the gap just right.
This is too close. This has to go.
Oh, you'll be thankful. All these lines look good though.
Yeah. This is an aftermarket fender, so this messing around with it is nothing out of the ordinary. And after a bunch more adjustments to the hood hinges, fenders on both sides, radiator support, and the cowl, we left everything in place but loose so we can make final adjustments after paint. And now it's back to more sanding. Dad cleans out all the door jambs so no dust or crud comes out while we're painting. As he does that, I'll move on to the last area to sand before this thing goes into the tent, which is the roof, and it needed a tad more attention than I thought. This truck is much too large to be painting in the garage, and it's just barely warm enough outside still to spray. So Dad and I marched the portable garage from out back up front. Good. Before we get the truck into the tent, there's just a few small areas left to sand. And after this, whatever's left underneath, it's getting painted. But there's one small detail I almost missed. There's this line or seam here near the roof line you can see from the first videos of the truck. And when I used filler in this area to fix that damage, I filled it in. You have a much less chance of screwing it up than I do. You want that step stool?
What's it do? Just go down this way?
So before paint, Dad and his careful hands are gonna put it back.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
If we don't, it won't look right or symmetrical with the other side.
Yeah, that looks great.
Not bad.
And then it looks like there's a...
There's a gap and then there's another, just a scratch.
Yeah, and it's like just in the middle.
Do you want me to try to freehand one there? Like that. That's basically what it looks like.
That's perfect, yeah.
That's good enough.
And he nailed it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Now I just gotta mix up the primer, then we'll roll the truck out, spray it, roll it back in here, turn on the heat, bake it, sand it, and then paint it. The primer gets mixed with the correct ratio of activator. Then we push the truck outside into its, we won't call it portable garage, we'll call it paint booth, right. Almost ready to spray. Dad blows it off with air one last time. We give it one final wipe down. Showtime.
Yep.
For neighbor Steve's guidance, I'm priming any bare metal spots or spots I had to sand and fill and fix. All the spots I previously primed with rattle cans of primer, I'll go over again with this, since this primer will help to build up those areas too. In the tent, it was nice to be able to see what I'm spraying. But I noticed it was a little tight around the sides, which would come to bite me later on. From this angle, I can see I should have definitely opened up the fan to make the spray pattern wider and not so stripy as it looks. But in the moment, I really couldn't tell it was spraying so narrow. It could have been the lighting or the lower angle I was at, but it looked okay to me. And after 2 coats,
Fire that thing up.
once the last coat of primer was on, we pushed the truck back into the garage where the heat was on high to help speed up the drying, so that we can hopefully paint on the color today while it's still a decent temp out. Well, that worked out well. Nice. After 2 hours of drying, as per the instructions, Dad and I began to sand the primer smooth, which is where the plan began to crumble. Destroying the sandpaper, gumming it up, it wasn't ready. For some reason, the primer was still too soft to be sanded, even though I followed the instructions to a T. So neighbor Steve came over to give me some direction.
I'm like in here, where you still see some shine here.
So yesterday was the big push to finish and get this thing painted and clear coated, but unfortunately, even though we waited past the 2-hour window that the primer had to dry before we could sand it, it was just destroying the sandpaper. I mean, look at these pieces. It wasn't ready. So today, it's going to be a few degrees cooler, but we think if we warm the truck up in here, roll it outside again, paint it, and roll it back in, we'll be okay. But it's going to rain around noontime, so kind of pressed for time. So bright and early the next morning, we block sanded the primer down with 400 grit sandpaper, after the truck sat in here and baked with the heater on most of the night. After that, I can blow off the massive amounts of dust. Wait for the dust to settle a while. Then, as Dad wipes the whole truck down with a special pre-paint cleaner that costs $90 a bottle, I mix up our color coat. I've got to mix this 4 parts of the paint with 2 parts reducer and 1 part activator for the correct ratio. And once it's all combined and mixed together, it's time to get some color on this cab. With the torpedo heater on full blast, before spraying, Dad and I talked through a quick game plan.
Here, come out here. Go over there, do that side. When you're doing that, I'll get a ladder over here.
The tent's tight, and he's managing the air hoses and the stools, and once I start spraying, there's no room for mistakes. Standing on the frame, I started spraying on the roof, whatever I could reach back there, and then the whole back of the cab. I had to be so careful not to brush up against the fresh paint when moving around in here.
No.
I slithered around to the other side of the truck to spray the back of the cab on that side, then up onto spraying the rest of the roof. All while trying not to hit my head. But then, because of the distance I was spraying from, I found runs.
The fucking whole side's runs.
Get out of there.
I'm probably shooting way too close to it. That run full.
Remember where I said the tent was a bit tight?
All here, full up there.
In case you've never painted anything before, paint runs happen when too much paint's put on one spot. It piles up thick, then gravity takes over and makes the paint drag downwards. And I'm thinking it's either from me spraying too close or trying to put on too much. But the paint's mixed and there's no turning back at this point. So I just gotta keep going, and we'll see if we can mend those spots later. So, attempting to be a bit more careful this time, I'm now just spraying the whole passenger side of the cab. Then I continue to the front, hitting the new front fender, and onto the cowl, then the hood, the part I was most worried about coming out good, since I spent days and days and hours trying to fill dents and get that thing straight. Thank God Dad was here, giving me a hand and making sure I was covering everywhere with paint. White over gray in this lighting was quite the challenge to see. Just look. But that was among many of my rookie mistakes. I dropped the air hose into the paint on the other fender, which luckily I think I'll be able to recover and hide. Now the first coat of white's on.
So we're waiting right now because I had a few runs. Shocking, I know. The unexperienced, never painted a car before painter screwed up. I shouldn't have done my first vehicle ever painting on, a Ford F250, probably.
Neighbor Steve then took a stroll over to see my mess up and to give me his guidance on what I should do from here.
I've got the heater going now, trying to warm this side up where the run is. I'll show you that now. It's right... Well, it magically disappeared, I guess. Why is it not showing up on camera? It's right there. There it is. And, oh yeah, all that.
Neighbor Steve instructed me to put on another coat of white. Then after spraying the second coat, Dad and I went into the booth with the big light to see how it was looking and to see where I messed up in my bodywork.
Oh, my sanding scratches. Holy
What?
The sanding scratches. What the
You don't have run there, do you?
No, sanding scratches. Doesn't look like any runs on this side, though. And that bottom piece looks really good, actually. That's really nice. Doesn't look like anything.
Not bad.
No.
Where there weren't runs, looked pretty decent actually. So now the two coats of color are on the cab, we push it in the garage to really get it warm and speed up the drying process. Because a little while later, once the paint had cooked for a bit, Neighbor Steve came back over to see if he could fix my boo-boos where the runs were, with a little wet sanding. And the runs were in more spots on that side than I originally thought. But once he got the high spots from the runs knocked down, we pushed the truck back into the booth so he could dust some paint on those areas and anywhere else he thought there needed to be more paint on the cab.
I did.
You can see scratch marks on it.
Thank you. Yeah, I know.
And after a long Sunday of work, the cab of the truck is entirely painted in base coat, which made someone excited. After a few more hours of cooking in the tent with the heater on, Neighbor Steve came back by to see if we were able to salvage the paint job.
How does it look? Look covered?
I haven't even looked at it.
We didn't even look, we just...
I see a little tiny one right
Think I have to worry about this water, or is that going to be all right?
Yeah, I think you're dry now. I think it's
As you can hear in the background, it started to rain as we were bringing it in, which got a few drops onto the paint, which luckily was dry now. But this was a forewarning.
looks a lot better than it did this morning. That's for sure. But just don't f it up tomorrow when you put on it.
You can buff it, you can
What's
do a lot of things.
All right, it's clear coat day. I've got the spray booth warming up now.
We've got a window today where it's going to be pretty warm and not raining. And we have to get the clear sprayed on the cab in that window of time. With the clock ticking, I started mixing up the clear when I noticed I was missing a crucial ingredient.
Oh my gosh. I literally have the heater running. I'm getting ready to mix the clear. I need 2 parts this, 1 part this. This is full, this has a ton in it. But I just remembered I also need a tiny bit of activator, which is right here. And it's completely empty. I completely spaced that I need that for the clear too, and I used it all yesterday. I hope I can get some today. Today's literally my only window this week to paint, to clear. And I have to be within the 24-hour window of putting on the base coat to do the clear coat. Oh, what a mess.
So I sprinted to the paint store in hopes of a miracle.
Shout out to Dave, man, saving the day. I got a little bit more reducer, just enough for me to finish the project and clean the gun even. Now we need to get home and get this thing cleared before it starts to rain.
Now we're good to go. I started by blowing off the cab and wiping it down to rid it of any remaining water or dust from yesterday. For the clear coat on the cab, I went back to using the Intercraft gun, the same setup that worked great on the bed, but I swapped on a larger size tip on the spray gun, per neighbor Steve's instructions. Now we can mix up the clear coat in the correct ratio, load it into the spray gun. Ty and I rolled the truck from the nice warm garage into the tent outside, which also should be nice and warm. I checked and adjusted the spray pattern and fluid amount. And this is where things started to go very downhill.
All right, I need to do the hood, the roof.
I started spraying the roof, however much I could reach standing on the frame. Then the back of the cab. But when I got to the sides of the roof, the spray gun wasn't spraying. But I couldn't exactly tell that because the tent contained all the overspray from when it did spray. The clear coat was a lot foggier than the paint was. So I kind of thought it wasn't spraying at full volume, but I couldn't tell for sure. But again, like an idiot, sprayed clear coat that actually didn't exist. Me and Ty just couldn't tell because of the lighting in here and the overspray from when the clear did come out. When I was hanging the spray gun at any angle, it didn't appear to be spraying anything.
Until it's shooting.
But when I double check with the spray gun upright, it would spray, so I thought we were okay.
You're going down in the thing? Yeah. I mean, it's cloudy in here, so I'd say it's definitely shooting. Yeah.
But to make things worse, now in the background, you can hear raindrops starting to hit the roof of the tent. The rain had begun. But we're in a tent, covered. We should be okay. At least I thought. So I continued on, spraying the whole driver's side of the cab. When the gun was actually seeming to spray okay, with the overspray not venting out of the tent, it made it hard to see where I already sprayed, and the tightness of the tent made it difficult to move around as much as I needed to. But this is just the way I have to do it with my circumstances. With the first coat, I think done, about a half hour later, I'll start the next coat, which was where things really took a turn for the worst. This time, Ty tried to hold my big underhood work light to try to give us a bit more light, but what I should have gotten was a better sense of balance. But again, as I go to spray the roof, nothing seems to be spraying out. Not as much as it should anyways.
You see anything coming out of that?
Here's what you really don't want to do when you paint your car.
That's using your face.
Are you okay? What happened?
I'm all good. But the clear coat where my face went is a little messed up. But with the rain starting to really pelt the tent, I just had to keep going.
It might be foggy. That's like it's coming.
But that's when we noticed our tent was leaking. Bad.
Oh, there is water. Oh, no. Oh, no, it's coming from the middle. It's coming from the middle and coming down that tube. I can see it.
All right, what do you want to do?
There's not a whole lot we can do.
A half pull on the trigger shoots just air, so I used that to try to dry the spot further.
What, is it doing more? Yeah.
But it was no use. But the really expensive clear coat could only be used for so long after getting mixed together, so I had to just keep going. Ty attempted to keep the drips from dropping onto the clear I just sprayed. I tried to work fast so we could just get the truck out of the tent, in case it was leaking in other spots. I did all that work to make the hood nice and straight, and now what's going to ruin it's a few drops of water during the last stage of this paint job.
Maybe we push it in and do the other coat after? What do you think?
I wouldn't. I'd do this coat and get it in.
Oh, side of it. Yeah, something's wrong. I mean, it sucks. You can't see. Unfortunately, I don't think you have anything working for you in this case.
So I tried to dry the area the best I could, and then sprayed more clear. But still, sometimes it seems like nothing's even coming out of it. Everything was going bad. With two sort of coats of clear on, maybe, it was time to see just how badly I ruined this paint job. Awesome! That looks really good!
It's still wet and there's water dripped all
The roof, I don't think it actually did shoot. Oh, there's water everywhere. Oh, good. At least the paint fumes made us able to laugh at how bad the truck came out. It was
That's good.
bad. There's water droplets everywhere, the roof looks like it didn't get any clear on at all, and the whole truck looks like a zebra, since it's like one pass with the spray gun clear would come out, and the next, hardly nothing would. The humidity outside with the rain made the surface look like Mars. The water dripping onto the truck splattered and affected other areas. And one pass with the spray gun, clear coat would come out, and the next pass, it wouldn't spray hardly anything. And in some spots, I don't think it sprayed anything at all. I did all this work to try to get this body straight and ready for new paint. And at this point, it looks worse than it did if I didn't touch it at all.
All right, here's the deal. The truck looks absolutely terrible. Shocking, I know. I painted in a tent, portable garage thing, outside of my garage with a torpedo heater in the rain. And I don't know what I'm doing. So I really had everything going against me. I don't know why I thought it would come out better. But it's a complete and utter mess. I mean, it looks like absolute crap. There's water that got clear coated over. But at least it's shiny right there, because the rest of the spots, like the roof, for example, is not shiny at all. I mean, look at, you got that shiny down there. Up here, there's nothing. I went over this twice. It's just, there's zero gloss to it. It's like the clear coat just didn't work on that. Where down here, that looks pretty good. Down here, there's nothing. Up here, that's pretty good. Go a few feet below, it gets worse. Pretty dry, glossy. Dry. I mean, look at, there's no gloss there at all. But over there is. See? Look at that. That's not right.
But luckily, the day's not over yet. And there's still one thing left we can try to do to salvage this.
So here's really the only thing I can do. That clear coat has a 24-hour window from when you base coat to when you can clear coat. I have 1 hour remaining until that window closes. My options are to either do nothing at all and leave the truck the way that it is, or try to do one more clear coat, one more coat of clear coat in the garage, just open up the doors. I can't risk bringing it outside again because it's still raining and it's supposed to rain all night and the water's just gonna drip through onto the paint. And I really have no other choice. I have the stuff, my window is gonna close in an hour. I'm going to just give this one more coat to at least, I'm gonna basically give this one more coat so it at least has something that we can work with. We can wet sand, because as of right now, the roof doesn't even have hardly any clear coat that we can mess with. A lot of the parts of the truck don't even have enough clear coat that we can even mess with it. So at least I can build up that layer of clear coat so we have something that we can mess around with, work with, try to get some sort of shine out of, and some sort of protection. Right now, that roof has no sort of protection on it. The only protection it has is the base coat, and this base coat needs to be clear coated, so I need to cover that. All right, here goes nothing.
So I heated up the garage as high as I could get it so the metal of the cab would be warm, sprinted out to the store to buy a brand new cheap Harbor Freight spray gun, opened up all the doors in the garage and set up fans to blow over spray out, and laid on one final coat of clear coat as thick as I could before it would start to run all over the place, especially on the roof. And now you can see the clear coat blasting out of the gun like it's supposed to. In this lighting, I can actually see where my last pass was, so I can try to do the right amount of overlap between passes. And in here, I can actually move around a bit more freely.
My gosh, I think it's working. I won't fall off at this one.
I didn't spray in here before since after this, everything in here not covered is going to be covered in overspray, and my house is going to reek of paint for the next week. But for now, I truly don't have any other option. And as I laid the clear on nice and thick, I could actually see some sort of gloss on the truck. I could start to vaguely see my reflection.
Look at the difference, guys. Look at that, and then, wow. Oh my gosh. We just might be able to save this thing.
I don't want to get too excited yet. It's shiny, but it's shiny over a rough surface, since the coats before were so messed up. But anything's an improvement over that now. And like Da Vinci finishing his final brushstroke on the Mona Lisa, I was out of clear coat.
Guys, I think I saved it. I think that, I'm not going to take this off yet. I think I saved the paint job. Look at that. It's actually shiny, like it's supposed to be. And it's got a reflection to it. This is the greatest day of my life. Oh my gosh. What? Look at that. It's got a reflection to it.
Well, I don't think it looks that bad. I think that it looks a lot better compared to what it looked like, because it looked absolutely horrendous. I'm sure that wasn't really coming through on camera. It never really does, but this is an improvement. It's not perfect, but it's shiny. It's all white. There's no rust on it. Look at it, it's got decent gloss to it, besides the, some of the dog hairs that got stuck in it, and, the water droplets. I don't know. This is an improvement. I'm really not too disappointed in it. I think it looks okay. It's shiny and it's white.
Neighbor Steve came over later to see just how badly I screwed up and to give me a hand removing the masking tape and paper, since he said you got to be very careful when doing it. But once the paint fumes got out of my system and the truck dried,
it doesn't look very good. Actually, to you guys, it might actually. It's shiny. I guess it doesn't look a whole lot different than it did before. As you get a little closer, you see it's like a teenager's face.
that's a combination of tiny water sprinkles from spraying in the tent, from moisture in the air and leaks from the tent, and what neighbor Steve described to me as dust from the last coat being done in the garage, which hadn't been cleared of all the dust and dirt prior to painting.
So here's the thing. Neighbor Steve came over the night that I painted this and basically said, which I kind of already knew, I had everything going against me doing this paint job. The temperature wasn't right. It was raining. There was moisture. And I did it in a tent that I barely fit in. There really wasn't enough room to articulate the spray gun like I needed to. And so this is the result. Am I upset about it? Not really. Sure, it wasn't cheap to get all these supplies and everything, and it was a lot of work, but these are my circumstances. Those were the circumstances at the time. It's not getting any warmer outside, and I couldn't just push this thing to the side all winter long. The way I look at it, the rust is gone. It's protected. It looks shiny going down the road, and even from 10 feet away, it doesn't look bad. And to be honest, I'd rather do it myself, try, learn, screw up, than just pay someone to do it. I mean, one, I can't afford it. And two, I learned so much doing this. So to me, that's a win. Next video, we'll start reassembling this whole thing, getting it back together, which should be the easy part. Probably just jinxed myself there, but it's also probably one of the more fun parts. And I'm very much looking forward to it. And you guys should too, because this thing is going to be beautiful when it's done. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy motoring.